Okay, today I'm going to warm up with some independence exercises for the left hand, and then shifting exercises, and then barring. Okay, get my timer on. I might do, I've got 45 minutes right now until I teach, so I'm going to set it for 45 minutes. Timer. So I might do some other things after the warm-up too. Put the metronome on. I got some new little micro mesh pads. So I like these. Get different. I've like, goes from 320 grit up to like 12,000. This is 6,000. I don't find 12,000 is always necessary, and I'm somewhere else in my bag or something. I've got 6,000 here just as a good polisher. These little pads, I think they're on Amazon for like $7. Got a whole, a whole little bag of them. Like, it's pretty good. So I'd encourage you to, if you're in the US, Amazon's great. Have a look around for micro mesh. Good stuff. I think it's used for polishing jewelry. And it's it's very, very fine sandpaper, and yeah, it gets your nails really, really polished and really, really smooth. So you could, just from a simple switch of your equipment, nail files, nail buffer equipment, you can have a drastic change in your sound from that. So let's see. Pretty good. All right, so rubbing the nails, remember? So I'm feeling quite a bit of roughness in my index fingernail, so I'm going to get, this is a 3600. I'm going to get that spot where I feel the roughness in the nail, just try and smoothen that out. Can you hear that? So if I play with that finger, there's that rough sound. If I play with a smooth nail, like my A fingernail, nice. M finger, not too bad. I finger, that's where the roughness is. So I got to get rid of that. Even if this takes 5 minutes, I just want to get rid of that because it really makes a difference to your sound. So I wonder if we could make some videos, just like someone has a camera and you're just watching someone, like, would you like that? Is that something? What's that called? ASRM videos or something, right? You just watch people like cooking. There's no dialogue. I don't know if I'd find that soothing or just irritating, but anyway. There we go. So see, now I rub the finger on the nail, the nail on the string, and there we go. Nice. M fingers. Okay. All right. I'm happy enough with that. Bit of open string works. Never a bad idea. Bit of open string. Get that thick sound in the top string. Yeah. 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 Okay. So we're going to start with finger independence exercises. So we're going to start in the 5th position. 1 finger per fret on the 3rd string. And I'm going to go fixing my 1st finger on the 3rd string, keeping that fixed. With fingers 4, 3, 2, I'm going to go down. 4, 3, 2, and then across. About that. So that tempo. Da, da, da. tap that in Soundbrenner. So that's about 52. Okay. So go down to the 4th position, same thing. If you've never tried this before, you'll probably find it quite difficult. It might look sort of not that difficult, but to do it in a controlled manner where your fingers are just, moving minimally, just moving a little bit, not more than they need to, right? And working your way across the strings, playing this in a relaxed way so there's no tension. Yeah, that's what we were aiming for. So try 3rd position. Keeping your fingers curled. Keeping your placement of the fingers close to the frets. Keeping your thumb relaxed. Head, neck, chest, shoulders, back, legs, right? All that just nice and free, loose. Now we're going to fix 2 on the 3rd string, back to the 5th position. Fixing 2, and I'm going to go 4, 3, 1. 4, 3, 1, 4, 3, 1. I've changed my right hand fingering to I and A. Shift down. You know what I'm going to do soon? Double the tempo. Here we go. Fixing 3, back to the 5th position, fixing 3. So now it's 4, 2, 1. By the way, I swapped to M and A for that. Then the last one is to fix 4, finger 4, and go 3, 2, 1. I'm going to go back to I, M. Bit of dynamics. Check something in my setting. Okay, yeah, it's all good. All right. So that's a nice finger independence exercise there. And yeah, you're fixing one finger and you're moving the others. And that can be quite challenging. It's one of the tests, one of the ultimate tests of our finger independence. If we can hold 1 or 2 or 3 fingers down and move the others freely. And we want to develop that free feeling, that the free and relaxed ability to move the fingers whilst others are fixed. Okay, so that's a fixed finger exercise. You can try that one. Try it nice. If you've never tried it before, do nice and slow, yeah? Okay, next up we have shifting. I'm going to do a couple of shifting exercises here. The first one is a kind of this octave sort of exercise. It's not the easiest to learn, so try, if you're gonna follow along, just try your best, I guess. But it goes like this. I'll try and walk you through that, and then you do the same thing upper fret. So you start on the 1st fret, you go 1, 3, 3, 1, 3, 1, 4, 1, 3, 1, 3, 1, 4, 1, 3, 1, 3, 1, 4, 1, 3, 1, 0, 2, and then you're in the next position ready to do it again, starting from the second position. This is from Carl Alvaro's didactic series for the guitar book 3. Okay, so basically what we're doing is we're like jumping octaves and we're substituting fingers, and what that does is it gives us this sudden shifting, necessity to shift suddenly, and we want to maintain the rhythm and we want to ensure legato so that we're not chopping the notes before we shift. So let me get a tempo. It's about 60. See how I'm trying to maintain that legato? Keep going up till the 5th position. Now we're at the 5th position. Then we're going to go down. Speed up the tempo now. Double it. Look. Try that again. One more time. Okay, so there's a relatively quick shifting exercise there from Carl Alvaro's didactic series for the guitar. Really good one. Yeah, you can see how it's quite a challenge. It really gets you around the whole fretboard pretty quickly. So, okay, there's that one. Then we're going to go to another shifting exercise. This one is quite thorough, and you can be very thorough about it, or you can be less thorough about it. Depends how thorough you want to be. Basically, what we're going to do here is we're going to jump with the first finger, and then we're going to jump back down. So we're going to go jump up to a particular position. We choose our position we want to jump up to, and then we jump back down to the first position. So we're going to go 1, and then 1 will shift up to the 5th. So 1 from the 1st to the 5th, and we're going to go 3, 4. So 1, 1, 3, 4, and then we're going to shift down back to the first position. Go 4, 2. So 1, 1, 3, 4, and then 4 down to 4, 2. So here we're not substituting, we are just doing a plain shift. We're just shifting from one position to another. Okay, so we're going like that, jump, and then jump 4 jumps like that. And then we're going to go across to the 5th string. And I did tempo. So something like 30. Oh, that's very slow. All right. I might put my metronome onto something like a triplet pulse as well. One of the great things I like about digital metronomes like Soundbrenner is that you can adjust the metronome. You know, you can add like triplet beats or 8th note beats or 16th note beats. It's really, nice features, yeah. And I was just teaching a student just before, and it seems like with most of the students I'm teaching, I have to remind them to use the metronome. Just like, it's just a reminder. Just got to use the metronome. And it's not to say that you want to play metronomically. The aim is not to play like a metronome all the time. It is to instill discipline into our practice. And it's to develop a good sense of timing, because if we develop a good sense of timing, it's much easier to then manipulate the time, distort the time. If you don't have a good sense of timing, you're not really distorting time, because it's already distorted and right. It's probably, a lot of it's probably unintentional, unintended. So highly recommend, please try to use the metronome. And I hope I'm setting an example. If you watch every single warm-up video I've done, I've had the metronome on the entire time. I don't like practicing exercises, especially without the metronome. I don't like practicing pieces. I will usually use the metronome with pieces, but not the whole time, maybe half the time. Again, it gets that good discipline, that rhythm, that nice, crisp rhythm, that kind of fluidity that comes with using the metronome. Because when we're not using the metronome, we can take all these little liberties. When we're shifting, it's like, oh, I can take a bit of time because I'm shifting, but it's not always a positive to do that. So anyway, there's my little rant about the metronome. So we're going back to this exercise. So 1, 3, 4, 4, 2, 1. And we're going to make this exercise really interesting in a minute. So stick around if you want to see that, how we'll do that. So we go across. Across again. There we go. We got a nice comment there. I admit I don't use a metronome. I know I should. Thank you for admitting that. That's brave of you to say that publicly. But I think from what I've seen from teaching, it seems like 75%, 3/4 of guitarists that I come across in teaching, maybe more, I don't know exactly the percentage, but it seems like something like 3/4 don't use the metronome or rarely use the metronome. So yeah, really encourage you to try it. It will transform your playing more than most things would. So thanks for the comment. Okay, so what we're going to do, I'm going to up the tempo a little bit. I want to talk about this exercise quickly. So the challenge with this is that we're shifting here like almost blindly. Like there's no guide. Well, we're guiding with the same finger, but it's just a big jump. We're just jumping just out of the blue, right? So that can be quite challenging for a couple of reasons. The main thing is to not get this kind of staccato, right? Best metronome app is, thanks for asking, Stephen, Soundbrenner. Put it in the chat there. Free app, yeah? Free app. And I'm pretty sure it's available on, both Android and Apple. Hopefully, I'm on Android, so I'm pretty sure it's on Apple too. Yeah, so Soundbrenner. It's also got some other cool features. I think it has some it tracks you when you've practiced, when you've used the metronome. I think it kind of tracks you a little bit. It's not, sometimes tracking is a bit creepy. It's like track. What else are they tracking? But I think it's okay. You can register for a free account to unlock that sort of stuff. So you don't even have to have a free account. You don't even have to have an account to start using it. So, okay, so we're going to do the same thing, but what I'm going to do now is I'm going to increase the tempo a little bit, and I'm going to jump up to the 7th position. I'm going to make the jump larger, okay? So we're going to go 1, 1, 1, 1, 3. Try and keep that legato. Oops. Try again. Try to minimize the squeak. What I like about Carlavaro's exercises, one is that I can talk while I'm playing them. The other is that they're relatively easy to learn without reading notes. They're essentially finger patterns. Notice how I'm using a little bit of elbow anticipation. See that? Elbow down, elbow up, elbow down, a little bit, elbow up. Okay, little tip when you, especially with a large shift, it's nice to anticipate a little bit with the elbow. So if you're going to shift up the fretboard, bring your elbow down a little bit. It makes the shift feel like smaller. It makes the jump feel smaller. If we're moving everything like that, it can feel like a big jump. But a little bit of that elbow movement gives a nice fluidity to the arm. And then same when we go back down to the first position. Okay, so like that. Okay, so we went to the 7th. I'm going to go to the 9th next. Now this is what I meant by you could be thorough or not as thorough. If you want to be super thorough, you could do 1, 2, 2, 1, 2, and then 1, 3, and then 1, 4, and then 1, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and so on. I've just chosen 1 to 5, 1 to 7, and then I'm going to do 1 to 9. And this time I'm going to add some right hand, like tremolo or something with the right hand, just to get the right hand going a bit. So thanks guys for the comments here. Thanks. I'm glad we've got someone, I've helped to convert someone here to use the metronome next time they practice. Let me know how it goes. Love to know how it goes too. All right, so we'll do something like, maybe we'll just do, so I'm going to go to the 9th. I'm going to add an open string in between each note. Why do I do that? Because that open string tells me if my fingers are too flat or not. I'm going to add the open string. It's going to sound something like that, yeah? Oh, I'm going to speed it up a bit more. I want to get things moving a bit. I'm doing PM now with the right hand. Cool. So that's a nice, shifting exercise there. And as I said, you can be quite thorough about it if you want. I'd encourage you to try. If you have the time and you need to develop your technique, do it thoroughly. Cool. So we did that with 1. A variation of this is to do it with 4. So we go 1, 3, 4, and then we shift 4 up, and then we shift down 1. So we go 1, 3, 4, and then 4 up to, and then so that went up to the 7th position. Remember, the position's defined by the what fret the first finger's on. So we're up to the 7th position. We'll hear that squeak. I want to minimize that. There we go. Back to. Same thing now. I'm going to go up to the 9th position. One thing I want to describe here. Notice what I'm doing with my eyes. So I'm actually looking ahead at where I'm shifting. This is an analogy that I really like. If you were to shoot a bow and arrow and you had a target, when do you want to look at the target? Do you want to look at the target before you shoot or after you shoot? Because this is the equivalent of shifting. If you look at the position you're going to after you've made the shift, that's like firing, bow and arrow, firing an arrow, and then looking at the target and hoping that you're going to hit the target. Very unlikely that you will. Your chances of hitting the target go way down. But if you look at the target first and then you shoot the bow and arrow, you shoot the arrow, much more likely that you can hit the target. So what you want to do is the same thing with shifting. You want to look at the target. I'm already looking. My hand's still here, but I'm looking here. I'm looking at the target and then I go. And same, my hand's down here. I'm already looking there. So watch my eye movement, and you can see this I see this with students and players, right? Watch good players, and you'll probably notice that they're looking ahead when they shift. They're not here and then like look, right? That's they're going to be looking first and then moving, not moving and then looking, or looking at the same time as you're moving. That's not very safe. Just shaky ground when you do that. So anyway, that's a bit of a tangent there. So look. Keep your thumb relaxed. Get that elbow movement. And try to minimize the squeak, which I've talked about in the past. The squeak comes from friction, which is caused by sideways movement of the finger like that. So you want to try and lift up first and then make the shift up and then shift. And it means you have to time things incredibly well, because if you lift up too early, you'll get a staccato shift. You'll cut the note short, so you don't want to do that. Okay, so that was the variation I was talking about earlier. Like, you can really ramp up the exercise, right? Make it a bit more fun and interesting, a bit more involving like the right hand tremolo, things like that. Okay, so we've done our finger independence, we've done our shifting. The last exercise for the warm-up is barring, and this is a fun one that I don't think I've seen this exercise anywhere else in any books or anything. Same with a barring exercise. I've shown you one before where I bar with every finger, including the thumb. So that's one that I've never seen. Look, there are lots of barring exercises out there. I do suggest creating your own as well. I've also shown you one from Carla Baru, which was like this kind of thing, which is a really good one. But today I want to show you, it's basically a chromatic scale with a full bar. and we're gonna start from the first position. We're gonna play a chromatic scale. Like that, and then we're gonna rest for a minute, and then we'll do the same thing in the second position. All right, so that's the exercise. I feel like I want to ramp this up a little bit, so da, 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 da. It's about 70. Then upper fret. Rest, upper fret. Rest, upper fret. Getting pretty tired now, but I'm going to keep going. I'm going to up the tempo, rest a little bit. That was fourth position. I'm going to go up to the fifth position now. A bit faster. I feel like going faster, like 100. Okay. Try that again, fifth position. Nice. Yep, pretty happy with that. Sixth position. Maybe one more, seventh position. I'm going to try MA at this tempo. Oh, why not? A couple more. Let's see if I can go to the ninth. Oof, that feels like a bit on edge there. All right, so interesting thing about this exercise, and the interesting thing about barring generally, the first position, you know, is in some ways it's harder because the fret span is greater. So especially if we're barring and we have to stretch, you know, we have to play extra notes. Like for example, if we play a regular, you know, F chord or something, bar chord. And the interesting thing is the higher up the fretboard you go, it gets easier in one sense, in that the frets get narrower. So the stretch gets easier, but most guitars, the action will get higher. So there's this kind of balance where it's harder to play in one sense up here, but then in another sense, it's also harder to play up here. So you have to keep that in mind. You have to keep in mind the action's a bit lower, so you can kind of press, you know, with less pressure down at the first, second, third positions. But the stretch is greater. So you have to stretch more, so that gets tiring. So you have to develop your stretching ability. Then up here, you have to develop your endurance because the stretching is less, but the action is higher. So you have to push down more. You have to put more pressure down. So this exercise, by going from the first to the seventh or the eighth or the ninth, you're kind of getting the whole shebang, right? You're getting the whole experience of stretching, you know, that endurance required for stretching in the lower positions, and then the endurance required of pressing in the higher positions. And so that's a very thorough exercise, and if you try it, I'm sure you'll feel a nice workout in your left hand there. All right, so that's the warm-up portion done. So I do like to go to studies next. Let me me know if you got any questions in the comments, any exercises that you'd like to see, any techniques demonstrated, anything like that. I think I might do Leo Brouwer's. I might get the right hand going a little bit. I've been very left hand focused. So what was it, number 7? I think Etude number 7 by Leo Brouwer. I find this one a really good one because you can hear the sound of that E string. I'm not quite. It's a bit metallic, right? I want to get a nice. Metronome. 85. Oh, I've got a question. I'll answer that after the study. So a great study for both hands, really. Leo Brouwer's Etude number 7. So the question: do you ever let your thumb follow the I and M when doing scales? So your thumb follows by resting on the string above. Yes, I am a big advocate of resting the thumb on a bass string. I'm not too strict on the thumb being like on the next string and the string above. As long as it's on a string, resting on a string, I think it's okay. But yeah, you could have that extra discipline and rest it on the string above. So what the question's referring to is like, if you're playing a scale, like a C major scale, I would tend to just keep my thumb on one string. The reason that I do that is because I feel like it's a bit too overcomplicated to move the thumb. To move the thumb so much. I feel like that's a bit too much movement. I prefer to just keep the thumb on one string and have it like an anchor, right? If I'm moving the anchor, I feel, I understand in some ways that adds security, but for me, it's just a bit overcomplicated. So that kind of, hopefully you can see that okay, yeah? So resting it on one string there, yeah? Oh, the mic's a bit in the way there. So, I'm going to get that right. I love wheelie chairs. I've got a wheelie chair, yeah? Chair with wheels, and it rotates. Swivelly wheelie chair. It's good. So I can move around easily. So that kind of thing, yeah? Hopefully you've seen me do that. I don't, hope that I practice what I preach. Even if I'm doing a rare stroke, I'll keep that thumb just resting on the 6th string. When it comes to chord playing, it gets a bit more musically varied. So depending on what I need to do with the bass strings, like damping bass strings. So if I go what's an example of something like if I go right, that D's ringing on, I'll move the thumb across to plan for the C like that, and then after I play the C, the 5th string, my thumb will go over to the 4th string. So that's a bit more. That's where it gets a bit more complicated, but for musical reasons, for damping bass notes, so you get clear transitions of harmony. Yeah. Thanks for the question, Stephen. Thank you. Okay, so 5 minutes left. goes fast. I mean, it's gone fast for me. This routine's gone very fast. The blink of an eye. Okay. So I've done a study. One piece I have been playing a little bit is Rigondi's Nocturne Reverie Nocturne. Which way is it? Reverie Nocturne, I think. Just imagine trying to play this without warming up. Very happy with this tremolo here. I want to start it a little bit more dreamy. There's a spot to work in. be enough. I've only got about 20 seconds left, so there was a spot there. And by the way, concluding remarks, I guess, because the time is about to go off and I need to teach. My routine that I like to practice, and I recommend you try this structure, this framework. Technical work first, like a warm-up. Studies next. Old pieces and then new pieces. Now I did 45 minutes. I try to do in the 45 minutes when I practice, and I will try to do that sequence in 45 minutes. Normally I'm not speaking, so it wouldn't take as long. I would normally get to new pieces, but today I have not gotten there. But I got to go. Got 1 minute left until I start teaching. So thanks for joining. Thanks for the questions. Let me know if you have any other questions. You can just pop them in the chat or find me on creativeclassicalguitarist.com, creativeclassicalguitarist.com, or you just search my name in Google. Hopefully you can reach me, email me, whatever. I'd love to hear from you. Thanks for joining. See you next time.